everyone. My
Start.
name is Pooja and my student code is FT37428. And right now I am in Unit 4 and we are working on a project. And if apart from this, if I talk about my background, so I am a medical student, but I have some keen interest in coding and web development and web designing as well. So because of that, which I am pursuing my course with the Masai School. So this is all about me.
So, Pooja, tell me, what is the scope of the project? Why did you choose the same?
Okay, so if I talk about the scope of this project, so as we know that data structure and algorithm is a very tricky and hard topic in web development, and the beginner, especially who are the beginners who are learning the data structures, they face a lot of problem in understanding different algorithm and data structures. So this website will be very useful for them for understanding properly that how sliding window work and how pointers and some other as well, like there are some advanced algorithm like backtracking is there. So this part as well is very useful so that they can understand that what is the flow of that algorithm. Yes.
Okay, I understand. Can you walk me through the project, the most challenging technical problem you encountered in your project and how you deal with it?
Okay, so if I talk about some challenges which I face during this project, so when we were working with the Firebase, so we use some domain for Firebase authentication. Like if a person wants to log in with the Google, so that time we need to set some domain. So I used that, we used that as well. And when we were working locally with that domain, so it was working properly and it was working fine. But when we deployed that, so it was giving the error for that domain. So that time we faced some problems that how can we work on it. Then some things we research on it and we read the docs for it, and then we fixed that domain part.
Okay, Pooja. What
Yes.
specific technologies did you use and why did you choose them for this project?
Okay, so in this project we use some different technologies and different tech stacks like HTML, JavaScript, CSS, and apart from this we used Firebase and Tailwind as well. So Firebase is very useful. If I talk about the advantages of it, so Firebase is very useful for mm, in authentication, like by email and password. And apart from this, if person wants to log in by Google, so that time is also very useful, and it is very uh, secure to use, I can say.
So, tell me, what was your project contribution to the project?
Okay, if I talk about my contribution in this project, so I worked with the login and sign up part. And apart from this, I also worked with some algorithm, especially backtracking algorithm. I worked with the Sudoku algorithm and try to implement that properly, and some other algorithm as well.
Okay.
Yes. So, okay, Sharwari, can you now introduce yourself?
Yes. My name is Sharvari Anil Patil. My student code is FT37324.
Okay. So let me ask you some questions about this project. So did you encounter any performance issue? How did you identify and address them?
So when we were building our home page, there were some issues when we were using videos or some assets which were not directly linked or maybe not giving the performance as smooth as it should be. So
Okay.
then we used Media Kit where we uploaded our assets like videos, images, and GIFs, and then we used that link and directed towards our project. So it made our performance better and smooth.
Okay. Can you explain a situation where you had to make a critical decision that impact the project direction?
So, in our project, we were working on backtracking. If we talk about word break problem, so in that we have to merge with the UI, which was not merging as correctly as it should be, and it was not as particular because the uh, the visualization of that problem was not accurately uh, accurately going with the containers and UIs. So that time we decided to quit that problem and go further. But then our members tried to work on it and give time on it and did it better. So now it is better now and it is working very well and the UI is doing very well.
Okay. So let me ask you the another question. Were there any trade-off you had to make while working on the project? How did you prioritize that?
So there is a problem, there is an algorithm we use for sliding problems, sliding window. So when we were using it, when we were implementing and coding it, that time the types of problems, that fixed window, variable window, there were problem implementing it. So that time we decided to trade off it and did not prioritize it. But when we thought of prioritizing it, we made sure it looked better. And now we have added more problems of sliding window. So yeah.
Okay. So my next question to you is describe a piece of feedback you received on your project and how you implemented it.
So when I introduced this project to my teammates, to my Masai mates, there were some problems with UI, also the problems with authentication, and they made me understand how it is important. The authentication is important, and how the theme of the project, the UI, should be more better because it is not looking that better. So then we, all of our members, researched, looked for templates, uh, sorry, inspire, uh, got an inspiration from some of the UIs, and now it is looking very good.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So what would you do differently if you were to start the project over again?
So if I have to start the project over again, I would first start with UI part, because in the whole 4 days and 6 days of our construct week, we faced a lot of problem in making UI, because afterwards we started the responsiveness, and that could be a problem because afterwards fixing it is very hectic. And all of us, mainly our team leader, has fixed it very nicely, but now it is for her it was very hectic to do it for every page. So I would start with making it responsive first, and then building other parts of the project. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Sharwari, thank you for the answers. And hello, Sakshi.
Hi Pooja.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Sakshi Magne. I'm a student of Masai School. My batch is April 36 and my student code is 224.
Okay. Okay, so my first question to you, can you explain the architecture of your project? Why was it designed this way?
Yes, for architecture, first we created a front end and back end part. For front end, we used HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And we use for CSS, we use Tailwind CSS also for responsiveness. And for backend part, we use Firebase for authentication and storage for storing our authentication images, password, numbers, and all. And if we talk about that why, so this architecture allows us to focus on core features and with a backend also.
Okay. Oh, how did you ensure the scalability and security of your project?
For scalability, we use modular code and Firebase for scalable backend services. We use this for our authentication system, and for security purpose also we use Firebase authentication, which include industry standard security practices like encrypted user data and passwords.
Okay. Okay, my next question is, how did you collaborate with the other team members on this project? Can you give an example how you resolved a conflict or a disagreement?
For collaboration, we use GitHub for task management, and we for communication we created 2 times of stand-ups daily. Before in GitHub, we created branches for collaboration and for resolving conflicts. There was a lot of disagreement between our team members, like for designing purpose, for colors, for themes, all the UI part. But we resolved by conducting meetings with stand-ups and asking all team members and after this we choose the most popular option that is now trendy for UI.
Okay. Okay, so my last question is describe a situation where you had to incorporate feedback from other into your project.
For feedback, the UI for the algorithms, we so that was not good in our project. So that time we take feedbacks and for taking action, we by feedbacks. So we redesign all the our algorithms part and homepage also.
Okay, thank you, Sakshi, for your answers. So,
Thank you, Pooja.
done.